Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here, and we're back with another weekly Q&A slash update video. As always, we start off with a quick update with what's going on in Injustice. The current Survivor Mode gear set is the League of Assassins gear set. The current Early Access Pack and Character Challenge is for Blackest Night Hawk Girl.
I think that's a bit of a misnomer. They might want to call it something different.
Just an access pack.
That's it.
And the current online battle is for Scarecrow's Mask, which upgrades to Scarecrow's Ventilator Mask.
Here we go.
Anyways, moving right into the questions. The first one comes from Lisa Peacock, and she says, "Hey guys, this question is not about the challenge reset, but about Injustice 2 Mobile. What do you guys think it'll look like? I know you went over it a little bit in the previous video, but what do you personally think? Would it be better to have a brand new app or just to extend on Injustice? I, for one, think just extend. I worked my butt off to get all the characters, and then I'll have to start over if they do a new app."
Yeah.
And I think I agree.
I totally agree. I mean, at this point, it's hard not to let whatever we predict be colored by what we're hoping for, because, like you, we've devoted literally, and not like the new literally where it actually doesn't mean literally, literally we've devoted hundreds of hours to this game, and it'd be kind of devastating if we had to start from scratch. So we're really, really hoping that our current progress will have an impact on the new app.
Yeah, in some way.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm actually enjoying the speculating a little bit more. So I toyed with the idea that maybe if there's less content being introduced to Injustice as we're playing now, maybe the more likely that Injustice 2 will be brand new. But I'm actually, the more I think about it, the more I'm not convinced, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so here it goes without saying. We don't have special access. Pure speculation. But I've said before that if the devs had just renamed Injustice something else when they introduced multiplayer, the online play, or when they introduced Survivor, I don't think anybody would have batted an eye if they'd said, okay, this is brand new Injustice, some mobile game, right? Because it was different enough. And so they introduced it in just Injustice, right?
Well, it's like the thing that a lot of things do. Like, I don't know if you've seen games like Evolve.
Mm-hmm.
What they did is they went from a paid platform to a free-to-play platform, and they called it Evolve Stage 2. And it's the same game, they just changed around a little bit of stuff, like something like that, right?
Right.
Is what you're saying. You could say Injustice 2, right?
Yeah.
And no one would have cared because it's different enough that it does feel like a new update to the game, especially when you're adding like a whole suite of characters.
Right, because I can think of some properties that have sequels that have changed even less from one iteration to another than Injustice changed just in the course of being this particular mobile game that's lasted 3 years.
Yeah,
right?
like what some people say Call of Duty games are game to game.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd agree with the actual amount of change in them being less than this, but like what people have said about the games.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking about just all these changes, right, that we mentioned, the multiplayer online, Survivor, the common thing right before these big changes was that there was a lot of moaning and groaning just before that the game is dead, there isn't enough new content, blah, blah, blah. So if we're getting completely new app, we're probably going to be seeing less new content on Injustice. But if we're getting a reskin of Injustice 1, and I don't know if we can call it that yet, right? Like World War I, where they couldn't call it that until there's like a second World War.
Yeah, it was the Great War.
Right, then we're still probably going to be seeing less new content anyways, right? So if they're just reskinning it, we're going to see less new content because the devs will be working on the changes that will help distinguish Injustice 2 from Injustice 1, even if, knock on wood, it ends up being an extension of what we're currently playing and our progress still transfers across.
Yeah, as long as they keep up the kind of update frequency and amount of content with Injustice, I don't entirely mind if they do just something different with Injustice 2.
Right.
Because there is something to be said for earning your way up the ladder too and starting from scratch again. I think there is a certain amount of fun to be had in that, but I just don't want it to be something else where it feels super, super time-consuming. Like, you have to put in another couple hundred of hours, and it's something that you almost need to play to be getting the full experience again.
In order for me not to feel gypped if Injustice 1 progress doesn't go over, Injustice 2 has to be less of a grind.
Yeah.
Less farming and more of fighting. But I don't know if you can really get away from that because it is a mobile game, right? So the controls are going to be limited no matter what.
Yeah, I think the problem is it's hard for us to just see the new game as just more content, and it's really what it looks like is less content for Injustice 1. And it's always like everything that's good about the new game is going to detract from the old game in some way. And detract from either what we've already done, or the content they're going to keep putting in, or the time that we're going to put in, and then I think all of those will leave us feeling a little bit gypped, so they have to do something, I think, pretty inventive. I think they'd have to be pretty clever and do a really good job to make everybody happy with it.
I don't think they'll be able to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
Don't think that's possible.
So anyways, our next question comes from Lloyd Banks.
Another regular, just like Lisa Peacock.
Yeah. And they say, hello BDC Care, nice video. Your new sound system emphasizes your voices, so I think it's better. And thanks for staying with us during this change. We're really happy with the new mic.
Yeah, and if we figure out exactly what we're doing with everything, maybe we'll film another quick video to show what our new setup is, like we did with the original one.
Because once we're happy with it, and once we're sure that we can say this is a really good setup that you guys can do if you really want to, we'd be happy to let you guys know. But anyways, they say, quick question. Do you think after the Blackest Night Hot Girl Challenge, we'll have a Blackest Night Batman Challenge? I wanted him in the old days, so you obviously know that I want him now even more. The 660 price pack can't help a new player to get him. Thoughts?
I'm actually enjoying speculating more. I used to try to avoid it because I know there's basically it'd be wrong most of the time, right? But they've been doing it so much, right? They set a pattern that lets us guess at what's going to happen, and they completely trash the pattern, right? So, yeah, all right. So, Blackest Night Batman. So let's look for some patterns here. Blackest Night Batman was a previous iOS challenge, but he's never appeared as a challenge on Android. So what makes this interesting is if we're looking for patterns, it would be different depending on what operating system you're talking about. And now, we don't have a great history of challenges that were on iOS but not on Android, getting a repeat challenge that lets the Android users get them. So there's an even lower likelihood when those particular characters are available in a pack, right? Yeah. So set team packs.
Especially when, like a guaranteed pack.
Yeah, so typically they don't have a challenge for any of the characters after that team pack is released. The closest to an exception, I think, would be the Blackest Night pack, which was running, it's actually ended now, which was running concurrently with Blackest Night Hot Girls Challenge.
Yeah.
Alright, so maybe it's possible I'm forgetting someone, but did Batgirl or Wonder Woman 600 ever get repeated after the Femme Fatale pack got released?
I don't believe so. I'm not sure, though.
And you remember there's that Villains Gauntlet where they reran a bunch of challenges for a couple days each?
Oh yeah, like 2 days each.
Yeah, but I don't think any of them were ever available in any real money packs.
You mean like a guaranteed pack?
No, I mean like where we paid real dollars.
Yeah.
Like a single player, all the early access packs, right? The Animax, Sinestro, Kandak, Black Adam, Apocalypse Darkseid, Red Lantern, Haldor, those were the Villain Gauntlet, right?
Yeah, like none of those were in their like guaranteed pack, or none of them were in like a challenge pack or anything.
Now, that being said, right, they had a bunch of repeats recently. The Suicide Squad characters.
Oh yeah, they ran it a bunch of times.
Really fast, like right after, like a short challenge, and then reran it really quickly. But, that seemed like a special situation to promote the movie, an event, right?
And to be honest, I kind of appreciate the way they ran it. It totally rewards dedicated players who are willing to play through a couple times, especially without challenge credits.
Yeah.
So that people could actually legitimately get them max deleted without paying real money. And I think that's, or at least close to. I don't remember if there was exactly enough because we had the challenge reset, but it's still good.
Now, the challenge repeats that stand out in my mind are the ones that had problems, so they had to repeat it, otherwise they were totally ripping people off, like Killer Frost. Or they were arbitrary, like Darkseid and Wonder Woman 600, or maybe Luchador Bane, that were meant to buy time while they were fixing things.
Mm-hmm. Getting ready for a new update.
Yeah, there weren't, besides the Suicide Squad ones, I don't remember a lot that seemed like they were intentional. But listen, like the whole point, I guess, of the answer is that if I've learned anything from Injustice, I've learned that you can't depend on the patterns. Mm-hmm. I mean, alright, so remember, up until Zod was announced in one of the 2016 updates, every time they announced a challenge in the release notes, the challenge always came. But Zod didn't. Yeah. And he's never, or he was originally in Android once. They announced him as a repeat, and he just didn't show up. Earth 2 Solomon Grundy was the first challenge that waited for an update after the one in which he was announced. Right? So until that happened, you could have just as easily speculated that he may never have gotten released because it had never happened before that they released somebody after their actual update.
Yeah.
Before Darkseid, there weren't repeat challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Survivor gear sets used to be Fourth World and LexCorp and League of Assassins and cycling through and through until the one time it wasn't. Remember that? And how everybody was, oh yeah, it's definitely coming in. So, yeah, if I had to guess, it seems unlikely. I mean, to answer your original question, Lloyd, if I had to guess, it seems unlikely Blackest Night Batman will be a challenge, especially since he's been around for so long in the challenge packs. But I've been wrong before, and I was just as surprised as anyone when they repeat the Suicide Squad challenges. So, for your sake, I hope they do repeat it.
And I guess for anybody's sake who doesn't have it.
Well, I've always thought, right, the challenge characters that Android never got but were available in challenge packs, I would have been willing to pay like $1 for the chance to unlock them. Like something nominal.
Well, we've tossed this idea around a bit, but just like paying $1 for pretty much any challenge to be opened up.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I guess it would be essentially what they probably think of it as is the equivalent of not paying all that like real money for the credits to buy things directly, like because you could do it even if you had already like completed the challenge. But I think that would be like an in-app purchase kind of thing that I could really get behind.
So Warner Brothers, if you're listening, we've got some Google Play money that's burning a hole in our pockets. Hopefully you're watching our videos.
Make the magic happen.
Yeah. All right, so that's cool. So we still got a little bit more of the Ultimate Challenge, and maybe we'll watch it play out. This is still our, for people asking, we did a quick look at the gear right at the beginning. Still my favorite online team, despite the fact that Elseworld Flash was nerfed, and he was never fixed where he doesn't get the stacking speed boost. But clearly still, because of the matchmaker, still a great team. Mm-hmm. And I think if, I'm sort of loath to augment their health and damage to match them against better opponents, because what I'm scared of is because you can't turn back, and that they will be a little bit overmatched when you fight them against like the really high level power creep kind of new guys, right?
And also you won't be getting as many interesting fights.
This is true. I mean, a lot of people complain about the variety of fights, and I find that when I play these guys, we see a lot of different teams.
Yeah. I think for stuff like that, there's always kind of a good solution.
I love bullet time. Dance.
Love me some bullet time.
There's almost no suspense, but it's still kind of fun mowing through people. And I guess we probably should pick it up again on Injustice 2 Superman. We let that go a little bit because there's so much else going on. And I guess you might have noticed too, if you're watching this, that we've been on a bit of a punishing kind of schedule with our videos lately.
Yeah, hopefully you guys like the like huge influx of new content. We're trying to really keep it up when we can, when people are interested in it, which is really right after an update hits.
Yeah, and I'll say it again. I love this update. Not a lot. It doesn't seem superficial like a lot of new content. Loving it. Totally loving it. Mm-hmm. Oh, we're going to have something up quick soon. A short one about Blackest Night Martian Manhunter. And there's a cool kind of, not a cheating kind of glitch, but an in-game kind of glitch. So no credits or anything and no advantage. But there's something neat that you can do with them.
Yeah.
If that's not a teaser, I don't know what it is.
We should also now give it a really clickbaity title. Like, you won't believe what happens to Martian Manhunter in Justice Mobile. Something like that, I don't know.
Does that mean we have to have some sort of thumbnail that doesn't show what's actually there?
You just have to have like a really big, I don't know, some sort of close-up on his face.
Like close enough that you can see the texture of his skin and his acting.
You just have the words "whoa" and really big text for the thumbnail, and then a close-up of his face.
Alright, there you go. Rockin' team. Alright, there's the end of the fight. Until next time, thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, we'll see you next time. Komoda.